Welcome everyone to Cinema Spotlight. Diving into Steven Spielberg's career, I will be talking about the final film in Spielberg's filmography, Ready Player One. West Side Story will be released later on this year in 2020, but until then, this is it. Stick to the end of this video to hear whom I've chosen next to review. Until then, let's dive into this thing. Ready Player One is about the reality software OASIS and its creator James Halliday, leaving clues to the whereabouts of 3 keys and complete control to the OASIS after his death. Wade Watts, a young kid who escapes from the unrelenting real world, finds himself embarking on the journey to find these keys before the company IOI and its CEO Nolan Sorrento seeks complete control of the OASIS. I saw this movie in theaters. I wasn't like, oh my god, I gotta go see this movie, but I love pulp culture and I knew this movie was gonna be full of it. So, with what I knew, this movie was going to at least make me happy in some regards. I only just hoped that the story was good and not just riddled with a whole bunch of pulp culture phenomenon references that left the insatiable need of being validated for all of my fandoms to be the only thing to note here. This is all helmed through the masterclass of a director, and quite frankly, if you ask me, tightly written movie filled with over at least 100 different references, and it all works for this film, despite knowing that there are some people who have probably read the book and saw the movie and had problems with a lot of the changes. And I honestly can't say that I had a problem with these changes, not that I would have known because I never read the book, but I can only imagine what it was like for all the copyright issues. And that remains a safeguard for many, but also a problematic situation to this day. So Spielberg, to what I can only imagine, used what he could and worked with what he could. Dabble a little bit in the pulp culture stuff. They're there. It's good. I don't think all of it's shoehorned in. Let's throw them as much as we can in there. I think everything works for what the film was trying to do. So they were very, very nice. And the story works considering everything, where I think that there are fragments that you can look into and see how we kind of live in this kind of world all the same. But regardless, I think that there's a positive note to take from this, is that when something takes over our lives, we can always spin it for the better, do our part, do things that are right, so that way we're not living complete misery. But beyond that, what really sells this film is the visual effects. And I think without it, this movie would have been just bupkis. And the visual effects were wonderful. It was a nice conduit to marry in what was real and what was virtual. And I think they were blended together seamlessly. It helps tell the story effectively, which is why I think it all went hand in hand. What sort of takes me out just a wee bit is the human characters, the counterparts to the avatars that were created for all of this. I think they could have done it with a bit more strength, leading me to the acting just as much, where dialogue, I feel it could have been strengthened. The delivery of said dialogue and its acting, I feel could be just me being nitpicky. But regardless, and I really gotta say this with the bottom of my heart, I really enjoyed watching this movie, once in the theater and once today, where I left it feeling satisfied, and I can only hope that you did too. For that, I loved Ready Player One and own it on DVD. I actually bought this today, just before reviewing it. Guess it was worth grabbing really quick. In all honesty, I had seen it in the bargain bin for some time, so I knew it was a quick grab, so I figured, hey, I'm reviewing Ready Player One, let me grab this. But the rest of the films that I want to own that I don't, that I said I loved and would like to own, they're going to be a little harder to obtain. But regardless, I want them nonetheless. Alright everyone, since you've been waiting so patiently for me, you have been waiting to know who I've chosen next for the directors. Or maybe you've just been waiting patiently for me to end this and stop talking and all that stuff. Either way, I took to Twitter and asked you to vote. The names I have on there is now a permanent list with additions I'm sure that'll come about. But between the names of Ari Aster, Christopher Nolan, Nora Ephron, Taika Waititi, Joss Whedon, J.J. Abrams, Ridley Scott, Tim Burton, Guillermo del Toro, and Tony Scott, I had the highest vote of Guillermo del Toro. So thusly, I will choose del Toro as my next director to reviewing his set of films. Starting with Cronos. That's going to be a very fun thing to find. So I'll be watching that film and getting you a review of that very soon, my friends. Also, if I may take another moment before you go, I would like to thank you all who stuck with me throughout this journey. This is my first time starting a show, a series, and actually seeing it through. I never really see them through because something happens and it just kind of doesn't work out. But I learned and I grew throughout this, framing my reviews better, using better and proper lighting, but most importantly, really finding my voice in all this. I feel that I was trying too hard to be like everyone else, to meet a deadline to a film that everyone else has already beat me to, watching success happen all around me, and I felt that I needed to be just like them and do what they do so I could be in the same position. And I started realizing how much that wasn't working out for me. I really needed to do things in my own little unique way, so I would rather be doing what I love in a way that makes sense to me than do what I love and try to be like everyone else. Everyone else has already defined what made them them, and they're still learning. And there are those who rose up, inspired from that, and worked along the way, but they were doing the same thing that these people were. Me, I was trying to follow through and wondering why nothing was working out. And here, this is kind of my way of working it out, and I feel like this works for me. It's my own little unique way of watching movies, doing what I love, and talking to you about it. I may not be reviewing the next blockbuster thriller, but I'm doing something that I feel that you have all shown me was the best choice I could have made, and I cannot thank you enough. With that said, I'm going to end this with a question. Have you seen... Oh, thank you. And here's another director, but let's go back to the thing that I was talking about beforehand. Have you seen Ready Player One? And also, if all goes well here, have you seen Cronos? Does this film ring any bells for you? Have you seen it? Have you not? Have you heard of it? Whatever the case, I'd love to know and get me some anticipation going. With whatever you have to say, I'd love to know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next set of reviews. Until next time.